Well, welcome everybody back here now to the big yarn up session here, podcast at the Bunjalung Men's Gathering. We've been here for 4 days, been here since Monday the 13th, and we finish up here tomorrow morning and we're heading back home. We've just finished a massive big workshop this morning with all of the group that are here. As you all know now, we've had over at different times about 170 odd men, up to 200 men coming in and out of the space for 4 days, all from around the Bunjalung Nation, and our brothers from up there in Githable country and our brothers from down at Yagal country, or Yagal country, all coming together to talk about men's business from a cultural context, from a connection context, looking at country, looking at our roles in community. But I've got two very special guests here with me this afternoon, in Uncle Wayne Walker and his son Kye, and we're going to have a bit of a yarn about with these mob about how it was for them the last 4 days, how it's been. They brought a big crew of grandsons and nephews with them from Kyogle, and we're going to jump in and have a yarn about that with the guys. And we're also going to have a yarn with my younger brother here. He's very versed in his culture and very versed in a wonderful thing that we all have been missing for a long time, which is our language. And we'll jump into a bit of a chat with with the guys now. But for Kye and Uncle Wayne, what's it, the last 4 days, the Bunjalung Men's Gathering, coming together, talking about men's roles, men's responsibilities, and where do we see ourselves in our communities and our families today? How does that sit for you guys today?
It was good, yeah. I enjoyed it. I loved it. The boys last night, I talked to them last night, and they said, "Oh, Pop, it was deadly." They said they loved it. I said everything was happening here. And I had a grandson played football in Brisbane on Saturday, and he said, "Nah, I want to come down." And he's down here, and he reckons it's worth coming down. He said, "I loved every bit of it." So he's happy, and other grandchildren there, they all happy, and they liked it. What they done here, and listen to the people, just being around here, they loved it. And different things, and meeting other young fellas, and that wouldn't happen. They wouldn't have known these other young fellas unless they come here today, the last couple of days. So that's what I looked at it and feel proud, like as an elder from where I'm from, and to come down and then fellas here, even the elders, some elders I never seen for a long time, and just getting together with them and having a yarn, and that's what we're all about. We like that yarn,
tormenting each other.
Talk about old things that happen,
exactly.
But that's what I loved about it, and it's good. Just thank them. The people who run it, and you fellas here, what not sponsored for it, So thank you for really what you put on, And like you said, we need to have more, but
that's been a clear message, I think.
Yeah.
From you fellas as elders, and it's been a clear message from our young men. They want to see more of this happen, and they want to see it happen more regularly. And I think if we can work towards that, I think it's going to be a better space culturally. It's going to be a safer space culturally. The lessons and the learnings and the knowledge that are going to be passed on and imparted is going to hold us in a really good space. We may not be able to solve all the problems across the board, but we're able to get a start on some of those problems, to work together and learn how to work better together.
Yeah.
So it's and seeing those young boys, every one of those young. I actually had the pleasure to catch them when they it was hard. It was hard to catch them when they always looking for Uncle Kye. Or, where Pop. But when I've caught them by themselves, I've had a good yarn with them and just telling them how we're all sort of connected and related and all that sort of stuff. And that's been an amazing journey, and beautiful young men. And as you said, and particularly your grandson that's come down from
Brisbane.
Brisbane area, that is an emerging talent in the sport of rugby league. He's got to be able to transgress from what he's done up there in the sporting space and put himself back down into this space. But more importantly, when he goes forward, he's going to be culturally grounded. There's a lot of those young men in that space in rugby league. Some of them are finding it later. Some of them are finding it through the All Stars games. But this young man's got year followers. He's got opportunities like this that he wants to be at. He's got a club that understands and allows him to do that. That's just great. So it's good to see.
You know what the thing that made him real proud was when he done the dance.
That's what made him real proud.
That was the icing on the cake. He said. To get there and dance, do the dance, and I loved it,
You see the smile on his face.
all them boys. There's two boys there who live next door to my daughter, and I said, "How'd you go?" So I'll just love it. They reckon, They said now they reckon it's good, Get that dance.
What about for you, Kye? How's it been for you? As a young, emerging cultural guide, leader in language with what you're doing, but how was the 4 days for you? And then also tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the space that you're working in.
Yeah, well, I didn't expect this week happening with me and language and really being a part of it with what I don't think, like I say to my family, I don't think much of myself in my role with my language journey. I just done it because I want to learn my Bunjalung, and it's good that we've got my great-grandmother and my granddad, his recordings and his mother's recordings, that I can keep our language alive for all of us. And and coming down here and being a part of the men's group and camp and that here, just sharing language and culture and hearing other people, their dreaming stories from other Bunjalung tribes. It was just, just to see that there is other people in the Bunjalung nation doing language. For me, I felt like I was the only one doing it because I want to do it. But it's good to see that there's other people trying to revitalise it and in spaces like this.
I met a couple of those fellas as well. So you got the slab boys from up at Tweed. You met them, and also got Chrissy Cook, who really are, the only way I can explain it, linguistically talented. But more importantly, the keeper of language. And we all know language has many different components to it. Some of that language has oral components to it. Some of that language has process components to it. But then you got that other language, that general language that you shared with our young men, we shared it with our older men. I think when you speak, I was watching and I'm viewing the room. The beautiful, the only words that I can use is the beautiful fluidity in the way that you speak. It just, they're moments for me that I'm just engrossed in hearing it, listening to it, then trying to say it, then walking away. And probably the biggest thing for me as an older man is, and I think I had this conversation with you even before we came to the camp, is about it doesn't matter how old you are, it doesn't matter whether you think you can or you can't. If you actually start the process and you actually, it's just that passing on of really important parts of our culture, which is
100%. No. It's a very important thing, and like like now that I know there's more people that are doing language in the Bundjalung Nation, I can ask. I'm not alone, so I can ask Chris, I can ask Joey, ask the Fingal mob, like how to use do things, and we're all just sharing like how to do booklets or share with each other, and just so we can get it out there to our Bundjalung Nation, to revitalise, a quick way to revitalise our language. And it was I didn't think, like I just said, I said the other day to the group that I didn't want this title or whatever this language teaching lesson thingy that I do.
Yeah.
But my uncles, my aunties, my mum, my dad, they're all like, "Yep, boy, you're the one now. You got to keep going."
Yep.
Granny did it. Now Dad did it. Now it's up to you. And it's only because of passion.
I was just about to say,
love it.
I can see and I can hear how much passion is involved. It's not just about the teaching, it's not just about the learning, it's not just about being able to speak with passion. And I had the privilege to spend a bit of time, with Uncle Mick as a young man, and I used to sit with him. Me and Greg used to run the fathers and sons camps, and we used to take him out bush with us. Your grandfather, and he used to sit down there. We used to fill his belly full of catfish down there on Pretty Gully. He'd lay up in the sand. We say, "Oh, aren't you going to teach these kids some language?" And he'd say, "Yeah, just let me have a rest first." And he'd lay down, and Greg will tell you the same story. He'd lay down on that beautiful sand down there on Pretty Gully, that the crystal clear water runs past, and have a big feed of catfish, cook him up fried bread, catfish, and he'd sit out and have a big feed, and then he'll sit there and he'll lay down and he'd just doze off. And all the young fellas would say, "When are we doing that language with Uncle?" And we said, "When he wakes up." Don't wake him up, let him sleep first, and when he's ready he'll come up. And the minute he woke up, we had a little campfire, and all those young boys would sit around that campfire, and he'd start to take them through animal names, and he'd start taking them through the name for the river, the name for where we were sitting on the riverbank, the really important parts. Do you know this, and this means that, and then trying to get them to put them into sentences, and and there's still kids now that were out on those camps with us that still remember that today. So for me, talking about, I think you mentioned one fellow there, young Joey.
Yeah.
He was actually one of those kids that came out of those camps, and now he's grandfather too. His grandfather, Uncle Roy, was the same with the language, and now Joey's doing it. So same as you. You're doing this journey with language, and I think it's beautiful. Honestly, it's lit a fire for me. I just got to make sure now that I, have the time and the capabilities to learn that, and I'm just going to make the time. So you only get out of it what you put into it. So brother,
When you say a Pretty Gully, like Granddad would say, na Buri Gully yeni warra benda. Majin balong baka yena gede yena bulende yena. We would go to Pretty Gully long time ago, and would go there to the riverside. Majing Balun Bagai, Yernagade, would go there to the riverside. Balun mean river, Yernagade means sitting down at the river. And we'll go there and have a feed there. Make a fire there, Weber mind Maji, Weber mean fire. Buyuba mind Maji mind Bulang would go and get that bulang and then put it on the hot coals and then have a feed then. Boy bini mala Jab Eagle. Cook that feed and eat it. That's what you'd say.
It's funny, I'm sitting there, when I say it's funny, I'm just sitting there listening to you and I'm thinking, I could have closed my eyes then. I'm not joking, I could have closed my eyes then. I could swear that's what he spoke when he sat on that riverbank with us, and they're having a big feed there with us. Down to that place here.
Pretty Gully.
Yeah. What do you call it in language?
They call it Buri Gully.
Buri Gully.
Yeah.
Buri Gully. Yeah. Down there, so... And then, obviously, my role as the CEO of Rekindling the Spirit, The first time we sat and had an opportunity to yarn that day when I went over to pick up some boomerangs from Uncle Wayne, did not know we were going to be there for 2.5 hours later. But talking about language, but we did. And I talked to you about, what I do for work and working with our men around health and well-being and trying to, the way that I see well-being, the way that I see that well-being space is a lot of the mainstream practice components is all about it's in your head and it's what's going on bad in space, your well-being. But for us as Aboriginal people, for us as blackfellas, our well-being is centred and it has to do with our spirit. When our spirit's not well, we're not well. And the word you gave me out there, in Gallai, and I say it to everyone now. Even when I say, how you going, I walk up and say, hey, how's your Gallai? What you talking about? Is that like, how you going? I said, no, how's your spirit? And even our mob, for them fellas, it's like, that's me how my spirit is. Because and now I've got this real thing with asking people that, hey brother, how you going? How you go like? The look you get, is like, hey, look at what's going on here. But then I explained to them where I learned it from. I explained the story about. I tell my little story about meeting you for the first time.
Yep.
And then having that connection to your mum, being that close connection with Dad and our families, on my Roberts side. And then obviously that really close relationship that both me and Greg built over time with Uncle Mick, in doing what we're doing over at Rekindle. So, so it's sort of like our black fellas have this cycle. We live in cycles, and it's like just following this cycle again. And here we are today, and I'm an older man, and you're a younger fella coming through now. You're doing this stuff, and Uncle Wayne, and only of you have been around for a long time, and now I can see the pride that it gives them, that knowing that you're home doing this stuff, because it means a lot. It means a lot to your family. It means a lot to you, definitely, because I can see that passion. But more importantly, it now means a lot to the Bundjalung Nation. Whether you like it or not, you've impacted on over 200 men that have been here for 4 days. And everyone's talking about what they learned from your language. Everyone's talking about what they learned from that dance. Everyone's talking about what they learned from the slab boys, from the cultural and the stories associated to just the dance. And then the stories that Kyle, Slab and Josh told about, our older men that walk country up in those hills, So for us, those things, and then having your dad here, like your share today, and Uncle Wayne's been sharing all week, throughout the camp, and those messages are loud and clear. And the connection, I love the connection between our culture, our language, and God.
Mama.
And the connection, Mama, and having that connection between Mama, and the church. And as a little boy, I got no choice. I got dragged around those churches with my grandmother. Unbeknown to me at the time, but real Mughal fella too, didn't want to be there. But if I didn't go, then I get whacked. If I didn't sit down still and ning when I'm in that church, when they singing and praising and work, you get whacked. And that's when we learn respect. You speak when you're spoken to. Don't interrupt these older fellas, and learn protocol. I didn't know it all at the time, but I just thought, I don't want to be here. What they bring me to church for? And then grew up half my life in the church, So I think, still Mughal now, but just that association. Uncle Wayne, you talk about that today. You talked about that throughout. How do you explain that association between our culture and church? I think I'd really like to hear the stuff you spoke about today, and then the connection of that to the language.
Yeah, well, see, like what Dad said, that the best thing a white man embodied was the Bible. And he said that Bible, when you study that Bible, our law, up to our tribal law, is the 10 Commandments. It's the same law as our law. So the Bible to me, I believe, and Dad said the same thing, that the Bible brings that one Bible. It's all over the world. God created, and it's all in that Bible, and that Bible proves that every race comes out of that Bible. And the story in the Bible called the Tower of Babel. Now, they all different races in that tower. They try to get up in the heaven, but they got stopped. And that's where they started speaking different languages. And that's where it's all come from. All our language and today that's why we believe that you got Chinese, Aboriginal, all the different races, different language.
And the same. Add on to that what Dad was saying about with Christianity and culture and how they're similar, they're the same. The principles are the same. Is because when Granddad said when he was a little fella, everything they did in culture, ceremony when Granddad was little at Tablin, when he read the Bible as he got older, they were the same principles in the King James version of the Bible.
Same principles.
As the same principles as how they grew up. The exact same how they grew up.
And I heard you say that.
Yeah. And you see in the Bible, there's one part of the Bible is they talk about the Cushite man.
Yep.
And the Cushite man is going to bring the truth. He'll be the one to bring the truth. You know who the Cushite man is? It's a dark-skinned person. And we believe that we're going to be the ones that are going to bring the truth because we're the downtrodden people at the moment.
Yeah.
And God's going to it's going to come to the stage where God's going to use, we're the oldest race in the world, as everyone's saying, and which is true. But God's going to use us in a mighty way in these days, our days now. You know? Yeah.
Well, if the start of some of that stuff that you just talked to is what happened from Monday through to today, that's an indication in itself that we're doing something right here that's really powerful because all of a sudden you've got not just the downtrodden people, but you've also got the most downtrodden out of all the downtrodden people is our men. Because we don't know our space.
Yeah.
We get seen in different lights. We get seen in all that negative, lazy, don't want to work, you're drinking and you're drugging and you're violent and all that sort of stuff. But I was actually having a conversation with young Mookie earlier. If those are all the connotations that people perceive us as Aboriginal men, I've been here for 4 days. No, I haven't seen any of that.
No, that's right.
I haven't seen an inkling of that. If anything, it's really eerie. It's the total opposite to that. We've seen men talk about love, passion, caring, sharing. They talk about how we want to be seen as equals with our women, not in front of, not behind them, but beside them. You know, so just those things are really, really, really important and pertinent to all of those cultural components that you talked about. You know, Uncle Mick, talked about with the Bible and the connection between Bible and culture. Then the second sort of stage to that is the connection between Bible, culture, and language. How that all plays out, and it's been look. I'm 54, 55 this year. It's taken me that long to put all those together. And it was that conversation I had in that garage. I don't know what's changed since that yarn over there in Kyogo, but it definitely it's flipped the switch. And all the things that you talk about now really resonates with me. And I'm trying to go, well, you know what? I've been searching for what my role is as an Aboriginal man. And it wasn't until that yarn.
Wow, that's powerful.
Seriously, Buzz, that yarn, I walked out of that shed, and from that moment onwards, I'm telling you, it's just my life, the way I think is different. I've got a certain level of clarity about what that is for me now, what I have to do, not what I want to do. That's what my obligations are to that. And that all came out of that yarn in the garage. You know, like, you'd never, amazing, you know. So I just want to say to you, as a younger man in the space and doing what you're doing, you've impacted. You know, and my life will be different because of that. And that's going to be good because that means I'm able to make sure that my boys do the same and my grandsons will do the same. So I've already had the yarn with my grandsons about it.
Yeah.
We I had them sitting on my lounge the other day talking language. So,
Yeah, I just like I said, I didn't think much of myself. I just said, Mum, Dad, said, can you do that? Like, I see that you're into the language. Here's all these CDs. If you want your great granny CDs and you can learn, I've done that. Still learning. But then me like saying, Dalanga yelgan day man, you're gonna be buying banjaling. All of this, I just think it's because I just want to do it. I didn't think it will impact anyone. But now and Mum and Dad, all my uncles, I still don't think of myself as some sort of person, but I can see the
you
impact.
got a humbleness about it.
Yeah, and it's just like, wow, I still don't think like,
You've
I
definitely
think I've got
impacted.
just like a little job to go share. I just want to share your
Yeah.
or something.
No, as I said, you've definitely impacted my brother, and I want to say thank you for that.
Yeah,
and for Uncle Wayne, all of your valuable input.
Well,
this week has
the
been
last
great.
thing I like to say is our language was taken. Now we've got a chance to restore it.
100%.
And that's what, we talk about alcohol and drink, drugs and all that. But our language, now that's going to change us. It's going to make a change now. We get our language back, and that's what that's something, like you said, what's that, we said the spirit?
Galai.
Galai. Get that Galai back in here through our language. And you'll see difference in our young people. Because, when we first set it up, Table Main, one fella walked up to him, he put his arm when he speak, he just cuddled him. He cried to him, what's his name? Clinton, Crockett's boy.
Oh, yeah.
He just cried.
And he big tough man.
Big fella,
He tough man.
And he thought he was going to eat the way he comes, he just cuddled, and he said, see that? That's what's missing. That's what's missing with us.
Same thing in that shed that day. It as I said, it's impacting. I can feel it, and now I know I have an obligation to follow through with that, because that's it.
Yeah.
It can, and I'll finish off by saying this one. You can have all of that facade of being strong, tough, all that. But when you hear that, it just brings you back down, and you actually feel that I don't need to do that. That big bravado of toughness and strength. No, this is the strength. So I just want to say to both of you,
Thank you.
Thank you for the gift that you've imparted on us for the last 4 days. I believe, actually I know that you're going to have more men around coming and asking you about how do we do this stuff, how do we learn this stuff, and you've now made those key and crucial links with other language holders as well.
Yeah.
So thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. You'll definitely be seeing me at least once or twice a week over the next months and years. So. Thanks for having a chat. Thanks for the time, and love the opportunity to do what we did over the last 4 days.
Same.
Boogle Bear, brother.
Boogle Bear.
Yeah. That was deadly.
Yeah.
Deadly.
Yeah.
Rekindling the spirit. Connect, respect,